What up, ladies and gents? Welcome back to League of Legends territory. Casted by myself, Mattis, and Pulse. It's going to be the Elite of Europe second game in the Consolation finals between TSM and Moscow 5. If you missed the first game, good on you. You didn't miss a great deal, to be fair. It was a pub stomp from Moscow 5's perspective. TSM rolled over them. And I am hoping this game 2 is going to be more interesting. Having said that, Moscow 5 took Pantheon support and Jarvan as like the bot, leaving Kog'Maw in mid. So it was really weird for Moscow 5. They did get completely punished for that, and much more orthodox kind of lineup coming out from them. So Pulse, I have to ask you the question. Do you think Moscow 5 are going to take game 2? I mean, if we look at it from a completely realistic viewpoint, if they play seriously, obviously they have a much better chance. But do you think they can actually beat TSM?
It's completely possible, because if they're playing seriously, then it's still M5, and everything we've said before about them is going to be exactly the same. There's nothing different about it. And actually, TSM looking for an invade here.
They are indeed looking for an invade, and they're going to do just that. All 5 players pushing around together. Odd One is the first to leave, though, so applied some pressure, put down the ward for Wraiths, and then moved back. Just going to give them nice vision, going to see exactly what Diamond Prox does. It gives them a lot of information as well, because if they see Diamond going towards Wraiths and Red, you know, straight away Dyrus knows, okay, there's a possibility that Diamond's going to come towards top and try and gank me. If they don't see him going up towards Wraiths and Red, there's always that possibility, that kind of warning signal blaring off, might be trying to gank in mid or bottom. But here comes Reggie from the side, going to be trying to land a gank on towards Diamond Prox. Did land the card, but nothing really to follow up on. It was just him and X Special. And actually, having a quick look at where Dyrus is positioned. No, I thought for a second Dyrus might be going bot and we'd see the AD carry and support top, but that looks to be the case for Moscow 5. Sona and Ezreal are going to be top lane against Yorick.
That might be why they picked Tryndamere, because he has pretty good sustain. He can't really face off against Yorick, but his early game is fairly weak, though he does have sustain. Against an AD carry support, it might be slightly easier, maybe that's why they're doing it. Taking a look right here, Yorick will be able to hold his own pretty easily, pretty handedly. But once again, M5 have a pretty high mobility team, which allowed them to put those punishes right out of there. And on the flip side, you do have TSM with, again, pretty high mobility, but more initiation than anything.
Well, it's going to depend on how well Darien can farm, because Tryndamere is one of those kind of characters that if you give him good items, like a Phantom Dancer, an Infinity Edge, he is so strong. But in this kind of situation, I do worry from a tiny bit, because Chaos and X Special are going to be able to zone him quite a lot. You know, Chaos is going to be able to just harass him constantly with the ranged attacks, the same with X Special. How much farm can Darien actually get from this position is the question that I need to ask myself. He's only got 2 last hits so far.
Tryndamere is fairly good at CSing under turret because he can crit continuously, but if he needs to get those rage stacks up basically, and plus crits are not 100%, so if he's trying to farm something and it's like, okay, I need a crit here to get it, it's kind of hit and miss. It's kind of chance CSing, which isn't exactly what you want in this type of game.
But even under the tower, you can see how harassed he's getting. You know, down to 2 bars, X Special's just randomly throwing an auto attack, same with Chaos as well, also the volley coming in. Tryndamere is flashing up red. There's really very little he can do. He can't get last hits when he's coming out of this harassment. At top lane, we're going to have some action though. Dyrus is getting towered over by 2 players, make that 3 in fact. He's going to go down very comfortably from Sona. So goes to Pepper. Scumbag once again is going to be picking up all those kills on Sona. We saw previously at a score of 6-1-6 in a game earlier on against Mouse Sports. Looks like he's going to be doing that all over again. But yeah, going back to my point before, Tryndamere underneath that tower has gone through 2 health pots, so has just the 1 remaining, and it's only got 8 last hits compared to Chaos's 20.
But then if you look at Yorick, he's only got 2. So, even though he's doing badly, he's doing better than his counterpart, which isn't too bad.
That is true. Having said that, Yorick did just die, which is going to put him behind a tiny bit. He's still level 2, so Dyrus 2, and Darien is level 4. But if you have a look at Darien's health, not looking too good for him. He's going to be recalling. How much gold does he have to spend? Just 400. So not a great deal to play with. Looks like they are, however, going to be re-rotating, realizing, okay, the Ezreal Sona wasn't the greatest of ideas for you, Tryndamere, so we are going to switch over. We've also got our kill. We've got our first blood at top lane. We've weakened Yorick a bit for you. Now you can go up there. You'll have the level advantage over him. go and have some fun. That seems to be what Moscow 5 were aiming towards. Also important to note that Diamond Prox is on his way towards bot lane. Coming around the back, there is no ward here. So TSM could be caught with their pants down. Xpecial's taking a lot of damage. In the meantime, from Genja, he's going to fall for short. Diamond Prox picks up the pieces. So this re-rotate working a charm.
There's constantly swapping up as well, which is very, very hard. They have to keep light on their feet right now for TSM. And it's working well for them, yeah. Actually, M5 playing seriously this time and could possibly run with the win. When they get ahead, as we all know, very difficult for them to fall behind again because they know exactly how to play. And they will be punishing TSM very hard for any mistakes that they make during this game, especially early on.
Yep, for sure. So, saw a couple marks before. Fox or Ari doing a lot of damage to Reggie that in the mid. Let's have a look at the CS. Ari 33, Twisted Fate 37, so he's slightly ahead, but not hugely so. Let's have a look at bot. How is Ash coming back? 2 Doran's Blades and Boots of Speed. Ezreal with just the 1 Doran's Blade, but does have 700 gold to play with when he goes back to spawn. And importantly enough, very similar on farm on top of that. But here comes Tryndamere at top lane. Here comes Odd One out of the bush. I'm going to get the Unspeakable Horror. Tryndamere does not have his ultimate to use yet. He's still level 5, but they're going to be switching focus towards Diamond Prox. He does come around the back, so Diamond Prox at the right place at the right time as far as Darien is concerned. But it was looking a bit scary for Darien there. Doesn't have his 6. He's going to probably ding 6 after this creep wave dies. Indeed he will, quite comfortably in fact. There we go, dings to 6. And now he's going to be a much more difficult target to gank at top lane.
Yeah, I'm just looking at builds right now. Once again, we have Twisted Fate, Reginald going that sort of Ocelot build, as we said, going already with those gold for 5s, and it looks like he's going to go with a second one, that being the Philosopher's Stone. Do have that Fairy Charm looking to build into it. So once again, looking to get that late game scaling and offering the utility that his character just has in itself inherently. With, of course, that ultimate, and he does have level 6 right now, so he could be roaming very soon. But you do have Ari on the other side, which could potentially counter gank pretty handily in the upcoming few minutes.
You know, we were talking before about Tryndamere being low on farm and such, but it's worked really well for Moscow 5. Such smart play. By putting Ezreal and Sona at top lane, and specifically getting a kill on Yorick, he's currently on 20 creep score, Tryndamere on 36. Tryndamere is currently level 6, and Yorick has just managed to ding himself up to level 5, very nearly going towards 6 himself. So Tryndamere has the advantage, and that's really good from that kind of perspective. But here comes Reginald at bot lane, landing the Destiny, and also the card Nocturne jumping underneath that tower. Odd One will be able to do enough damage perhaps to pick up the kill to go to Pepper, but actually suiciding as the heal comes in, and he was way ahead of the rest of his team. That just didn't work out. It's that simple.
Wow, and wow, Moscow 5 reacted to that perfectly, and maybe that first game was deliberate. You've got to think about it, because right now they've just come around and serious play coming out, and now they're 3-0. Got that first blood and another 2 kills on top of it. Aren't having a kind of hard time at top right now against Darius, because obviously he is Yorick, very difficult to play against, but here we go.
Yeah, I think that Moscow 5 realised that Tryndamere against Yorick, kind of straight from level 1, would be really difficult for Darien. So switching things around, as we were talking about before, gave Darien an opportunity to actually get himself ahead of Yorick. It was just a case from Darien's perspective of soaking up the XP and making sure he didn't die, which is exactly what he did. So now he does have that level advantage. He has the Vampiric Scepter, so he's going to be able to get some of that life back. And also with his Q, as he said before, it goes with critical strikes. He will be able to heal himself back up that way. So even though Yorick's doing a lot of harassment, Tryndamere should be able to consistently heal his way back up to full.
Definitely. And I've just got a message from someone who's saying that it's not Ocelot's build, which we know, but it was just easier for us to say it because obviously we've seen Ocelot have that build earlier on in the day. And actually, meanwhile, top.
Reggie could be going down from Ari. He indeed will, and then that top laning up Darien, low health, jumping back in. He does have his ultimate up. He's going to be healing himself back. And Odd One having to push back to his lane. Yeah, the reason why we say Ocelot's build is because yesterday in the Elite of Europe when we were casting SK against Mouse, on Gragas he went for gold per 10 items right from the start. So that's the reason we're calling it the Ocelot build just for now. But yes, indeed, Reggie will be going on the gold per 10 route. And we saw this as well earlier today, in fact. And yesterday. When he took Twisted Fate, he went for the gold patent, then he went into Large Rod, Rabadon's Death Cap, and Lichbane afterwards, and did so much damage.
Makes a lot of sense as well, because they're usually very good in early and mid game. I'm not saying that TF scales off, but certain Dragus does. So, therefore, you can get to late game and still have the same scaling a lot of AP carries will, without really sacrificing much, because it's all base damage. And I'm just being informed, he thinks it's Nick Inc. on the American servers who first did it on...
Yeah. Well, I don't think we were debating it, we're just saying that, you know, Ocelot did the same thing yesterday, so we're just making comparison, guys. But either way, you're going to have Ari against Twisted Fate exchanging a few blows. Are you still here, Pulse? Because it seemed to actually lag there for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm still here, I hope.
Yeah, I don't know if it's me or if it's like TS or if it's you, but you seem to lag quite a bit there. But yeah, Twisted Fate's going to be going back. Ari did fire out the charm, but didn't land. Now going to be moving towards Wraith. Odd One is lurking in the shadows. Here comes Reggie on top of that, but Diamond Prox is laying in wait, so don't think anything's going to kick off just yet. In the meantime, Odd One is going to be pulling back towards his wolves, and Diamond Prox towards the red buff, perhaps going for a gank at bot lane. Lots of damage. The Monsoon has pushed Ghostly Pepper against the wall. The two AD carries starting to transfer some action on one another. Here comes Twisted Fate, instantly flashing away. Will go to Pepper, being chased down from Chaos though. First kill goes down from Udia on towards the support of Janna, and Ash will pick it up onto Sona. In the meantime, Twisted Fate could be going down, doing lots and lots of damage towards Genja, but doesn't manage to finish him off. Here's Ash though to pick up the pieces. Needs to be careful because Alex Ich is on his way down here. Chaos is getting chased from the Bearman, and Ari isn't even required. So 7 for 2, and Moscow 5 are looking in a different league this time round.
That is incredible, and they're just punishing for every mistake. And there's not that many mistakes, there's just small mistakes, and the small mistakes are just staying in lane a bit too long, honestly. And those ganks, those 4-man ganks, are almost impossible to get away from, especially when they're so well executed. Right now, it's just impossible for them to do much, and it's interesting considering they're getting 4-man ganked and outmaneuvered against an enemy team who has 2 global ultimates. 3 global ultimates if you include Ash's ultimate. It's crazy.
Yeah, so Diamond Prox is going to move on to 402. Has a Philosopher's Stone, a Heart of Gold, and 1,500 gold to spend when he so chooses. Also has an Oracle, so he's been moving around planting wards and taking them down as he goes. Twisted Fate needs to be careful. Spirit Rush has to be used from Alex Ich. It's all going to be if he can land this charm. Nice flash used. Oh, the charm just narrowly missing Twisted Fate. Had that have landed, Udia was there to pick up the pieces with his bear form. Also, Odd One was on the move on top of that. But in the meantime, it's important to note that Darian at top lane has been farming like a monster. 105 to Yorick's 51. And this is exactly what we were talking about before. If Tryndamere can get big farm, he is going to be a monumental amount of damage later on in this game. Drake is being marked and taken down from Moscow 5 in amongst all of that. But they need to be careful because Odd One's coming up from the side. So is X Special alongside Chaos, but they do have a ward down there to give them some warning. Kind of dances again. Nocturne is going to jump in towards Genja. The Zephyr comes out as well. This time the dive should be good to go. Genja goes down and the Udia will go on to Drake. So a kill for Drake, worth it in the end there from Moscow 5's perspective.
Once again, did he pick up the Drake? Sorry, I completely missed it.
Udia did, yeah. Diamond Prox got the Drake.
Okay, so they're just pulling further and further ahead right now, and against a team which should have the advantage, obviously early game with those global ultimates, it's just not paying off for them. It's kind of incredible, and right now, Moscow 5 are only going to get stronger. Right now, with Alex is coming bottom as well.
Yes, he is going to be coming down. Can Chaos and X Special pull away the damage here? Oh, so much though from Alex Ich. Did miss the charm, but it's not going to matter. Popping off the W, the Foxfire from Foxfire Ari, strangely enough, will be picking up the kill. Alex Ich moves to 2-0-0, has 125 creep score to Twisted Fate's 81, but you have to take into account that Twisted Fate has been ganking around the map. That being said though, Pulse, he only has 1 assist, so as much as he's been ganking, haven't really been successful.
Yeah, and right now, Moscow 5 are stronger in the team fight. They're probably stronger in split pushing as well, and right at blue buff, we could have an engage here.
Should have an engage indeed. Yorick is putting down the ghouls. That's going to be enough to negate some of that pressure. But the important thing for Moscow 5 is that Diamond Prox managed to pick up blue buff, and he's moving back to his own jungle. In the meantime, Darien is going to fly through the wall, doing some damage on towards Yorick. He is taking a lot in return, though. Yorick is more than holding his own. The Q comes in. This is anybody's fight as it stands right now, because Tryndamere does have his ultimate up. So going to go back onto it once again, flashing up red. It doesn't seem like either of them really want to fully commit to this fight. And you can understand from Darien's perspective why, because he is past the halfway mark and then some. And Yorick is running low on the mana. Darien is taking more and more damage from the ghouls. He's going to have to pop his ultimate relatively soon if he wants to keep doing this blow for blow account. But again, it's just kind of both players just teasing each other almost.
Yeah, as you said, from both perspectives, they didn't really want to engage because Darius running out of mana, and Darien had his ultimate, and we actually, meanwhile, at top, we do have Reginald coming in, and will pick up the kill with the Ignite. Wow, I think he just stayed around for a bit too long right there.
He did, but that's in a nutshell why Twisted Fate is so strong. Even though he hadn't had a brilliant game in terms of ganking, that's where it counts. Right there, Tryndamere will be going down. This is allowing him to pick up some items. Though in the meantime, Genja has been dove upon from Nocturne. The Monsoon not really helping. The Crescendo comes through just on Odd One himself. Odd One should be falling here, but can he get enough damage onto Genja? No, he can't. Howling Gale comes in very nearly, finishes it off Genja, who had 20 HP remaining. There's going to be a double kill at bot lane. Sono coming in, picking up the second, and now they're going to be going on towards Xpecial, who's forced to flash away. But Udia is more than tanky enough. Need to be careful because here comes Reginald from the backside. Wildcards and pick a card both land on towards Diamond Prox. Their shield is tanking so much damage, but Sono's going to pick up the second kill at bot lane. Can Twisted Fate pick up the pieces? The shield goes on to Diamond Prox. The gold card comes out, the wild cards as well. Another shield from Diamond Prox. He was refusing to die, and in amongst all of that, Ari's just going to be jumping through with a Spirit Rush. Ignite goes down. That should be a very dead Reginald. What about that for a Duke, courtesy of Diamond Prox on Udia?
That was crazy, and it was the awkward moment when Twisted Fate ran out of mana, being in a power position, and he couldn't get away. Ari followed up, and that was a kill. It's just M5 back on top form. And you're gonna question why they were playing like that in the first round when they know they can play like this, or maybe they were just like, okay, you've got one up on us, and now we're gonna 2-1 you. Confidence.
Maybe
I don't know.
Just giving TSM a chance.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, basing off this performance, they are so strong. Darien, as I said before, has just been farming like a madman. 140 creep score to 88. Has a Phantom Dancer finished off, which on Tryndamere is crazy damage this early on in the game. So he can pretty much just push wherever he pleases. He has his ultimate. He also has, of course, a great escaping maneuver, which is Spinning Slash. You can go through walls. So he is feeling very confident right now. Bot tower has fallen, which is the first that TSM will be picking up. But they're still 5.6k gold behind after 18 minutes.
Moscow 5 are only actually meanwhile bottom.
Yeah, Kerax has been pushed against the wall, but does ultimate away onto Genja. There's just not enough damage and not enough tankability from Ash either. Now going to be going on towards Xpecial. You might have the Crescendo and the True Shot Barrage. Genja finishes off his double kill at bot lane, and he moves himself 4, 2, and 6. So very strong all over Moscow 5 this time.
Yeah, Moscow 5 just looking really strong, and of course Tryndamere only gets stronger. They're going to outscale them anyway. Obviously Ari is, wow, look at this, Darien farming behind the second turret. That's something you don't really see very often.
He just doesn't care. I mean, that's what it comes down to. He just simply does not care. He's feeling pretty much invulnerable right about now. So he is going to farm wherever he pleases. He's going to be going in close proximity with Yorick. In the meantime, at bot lane, Moscow 5 will be evening the odds, taking down a tower of their own. Darien exchanging shots with Yorick. Here comes Ari from the backside, though. Charm has been landed. Yorick will be going down very shortly. I think the Ignite's going down, but he's actually going to survive on 30 HP. I really thought he was going to die in that position. Twisted Fate comes down with the ultimate. The Ignite's been popped off from him as well, but the pick a card will finish it off nicely. Here comes Nocturne from the backside on towards Darien. So perhaps that overconfidence, that hubris, will put Moscow 5 in their place. Yes, Darien can farm a lot, but you don't want to take TSM lightly because they will punish you. Diamond Prox is coming around from the side. He is so tanky at this point that he can harass enough and not worry too much about dying. He could even feasibly steal this Baron or kill a couple players underneath there. Having said that, TSM have now turned round onto Diamond Prox, going to focus him down first, and they should be picking up this kill fairly comfortably. But even still, all 5 players focusing Udia managed to allow the rest of Moscow 5, Gosu Pepper and Genja, to get up towards Baron and stop it from happening. So Udia sacrificing himself for Moscow 5 somewhat heroically.
And that was really good. Actually, Genja and Gosu Pepper just stopping them from recalling at this point, trying to steal that blue, and he gets it! Wow. Oh, wow. Genja getting that blue buff. 2 versus 5. Trying to take out Chaos as well.
Ooh.
Over that wall, and that was really clever. Diamondprox did sacrifice himself, but it took them several years, 5 versus 1, to kill him. And that's just a show of strength right there.
It is. Yeah. I think he knew he was going to die. His goal there was, if TSM don't focus me, and if they keep going for Baron, I'm going to smite it and steal it. And if TSM turn around to kill me, it's going to take them so long to kill me that I'm going to stop them actually getting Baron, because in that time, Genja and Gosu Pepper are going to make their way there. So really, really smart play from Udia. Yes, he died, but in doing so, he stopped a big objective from falling. So you have to give him credit for that.
Yeah, and do have Darius duking out with Dorian. He's actually winning the fight because he has so much armor.
Wow, Yorick, yeah, he's got Frozen Heart and Ninja Tabi Boot. So as scary as Darian may be, Yorick doesn't care too much right now. He's actually going to be pushing him back behind the tower. Wasn't hoping to pick up a kill because, of course, the Undying Rage was up once again from Tryndamere, has just a 100-second cooldown. But, again, Moscow 5, objective-based, are going to be picking up that Drake very comfortably. It is going to be a free Drake at the end of the day. Ashe is at bot lane, and the support alongside with Odd One are moving up towards mid.
Yeah, right now Moscow 5 are in a perfect position, and they're in that phase where they're strongest. Team fighting phase, moving as a group, getting those picks, punishing them. And it's just, what can TSM do about it? Because usually the way you shut Moscow 5 down is by beating them early and maintaining the advantage. As soon as Moscow 5 even get a couple hundred gold advantage, they just snowball it out of control. And this is what we saw earlier with Mouse. They just held the advantage from the very, very start of the game, and that's how you have to deal with them. Otherwise they just snowball out of control. It's as simple as that. And when they get into the prime of the game, right here in its adolescence, that's where they're strongest, and that's where it's basically hardest to beat them. And really they can't wait it out till late game because they don't have great scaling. They have good initiation but nothing really to follow up on it. I mean, Yorkie scales off, so in joke from earlier, if you get that props, but and so does Twisted Fate. Actually, Darius might be caught here.
Yeah, speaking of York, he is going to have 4 players hot in pursuit. The Ashe arrow does come in, but goes right down the middle, scores a goal, and Arrow will be picking up the kill onto Yorick very comfortably in the end. He comes out of his ultimate on the other side. In the meantime, Ashe is flashing up red. And she's going to be okay. Yeah, but again, it's one of those cases that Yorick gets sniped down, and it's just scary times for TSM. I mean, Diamond Prox is such a good player, and he's so far ahead right now. Very, very tanky. Aegis of the Legion looks like it could be another Baron attempt from Moscow 5. And why not? Look at Chaos's HP. Look where he is situated on the map right now. He is not even close. Yorick is down for another 7 seconds. Sure, Sona is, but Sona is only the support at the end of the day. Twisted Fate is coming in. He's popped off the Destiny. Will he try the Baron steal? No, he won't. And as you could hear there on the announcement, Purple Team has slain Baron Nashor. So, more problems for TSM on the horizon.
The problem for TSM, the predicament, is it's never going to get better, because they have initiation, as I just said, nothing to follow up on, and Dorian is going to become more scary, and Genja has gone once again for the Trinity Force, so he's really strong right now. They're just so strong in that mid game, and it looks like Gosu Pep is building a death cap. So even the support's going to be dealing massive amounts of damage in this mid game. It's ridiculous, and it almost feels like late game right now, but it's only 24 minutes in, and it's kind of crazy.
That's very true, actually. You know, it does feel like late game, doesn't it? A lot of the items are reflecting that, and also Baron obviously has been down. A lot of towers have been taken out of the equation for Moscow 5. So, I'm going to guess that Tryndamere has quite a lot of gold based on his items. Yeah, he's got 2,000 gold. So when he goes back to spawn, maybe a BF sword, not too sure what he's going to go ahead with. But either way, Moscow 5 going to try and make use of this Baron. We said it before, and we'll say it again. Moscow 5 are one of the best teams in the world at pushing forward an advantage such as this. So watch how they move in together. Udia did take a lot of tower shots, but you can see how tanky he is with that Aegis of Legion. They're going to be picking up the inhib tower and the inhib afterwards for sure. Darian is taking a lot of damage. In fact, having said that, we are going to have an engage from Ash, firing in the arrow. The crescendo instantly afterwards. This is backfiring definitely on TSM. This engage did not work out. 3 kills in quick succession to Moscow 5. And they're looking for the 4th onto X Special. Monsoon was used just to save his life, and you are going to have Yorick standing tall for a little while longer with that ultimate, but inhib goes down. I mean, Ash engaged, but it just really didn't work out. Ghostly Pepper's crescendo was way too strong.
They got blown up. All of that mid-game potential just ripped into them, and it was 3 players down almost at the same time. And that will be the game for Moscow 5, drawing it to a 1-1, and it will be going to the 3rd game. Who would have thought it?
It's, well, the amount of difference between performance in Game 1 and performance in Game 2 for Moscow 5 is just huge. There's not too much more to say than that. First game they got stomped. Yes, they took Pantheon support. Yes, they took Jarvan at bot lane and left Cogmore in mid AD. Didn't quite work out, to say the least. Chaos had a field day at bot lane. This time around, much more serious, much more orthodox lineup, and you can see how it resulted. 18-8, 45.9k gold to 33 after 25 minutes 45. Very, very comfortable victory for Moscow 5 in the end now. Well, I have just been... Let me have a look. Oh, I've just been informed that we will be switching over to the Grand Finals now. I just want to confirm that's the case, Bass, before we obviously go ahead with that. Okay. So basically, we're going for the grand final now. Both Curse EU and Mouse Sports have to play at the moment. Obviously, you can see English time it's 10:40 in the evening if you are elsewhere. And a lot of these players are from kind of Central to East Europe. So for them, it's about 11:30, nearly 12 o'clock, even later for them. So it's important to note, guys, that they had to play the finals now. They couldn't wait much longer, especially when you consider this is a best of 5 format. So this could go on a long, long time. Oh, I've just been informed they changed it to best of 3 due to the time constraint. So there you go. It's going to be a best of 3 instead. And we are in the lobby. The winner of this game will take home $4,000, and the runner-up will get 2.5k. So plenty of money to play for. And I think at the start of the day, neither of us would have called this being the grand final, Pulse. Oh, I don't think he's here again.
And I'm using my mic, haha. Gosu Pepper on Sona had more AP than TF, just being informed by Bass. Amazing.
Strong. Yeah, so, okay. It is going to be Mouse Sports facing off against Curse EU, and prior to this tournament starting, Paul, so I asked this question just before.